the Midas touch, and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix, and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
Hello and welcome to World News on SOUQ News Television. We're reaching you live from our studios here in Lagos State, Nigeria. I am Sarah Olswanta. Let's begin with today's top stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu holds high-level bilateral meeting with United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer to enhance diplomatic and economic cooperation between the two nations. Nigeria's banking sector is set to play a pivotal role in the country's $1 trillion economic growth target following the successful recapitalization of key banks. On the foreign scene, Kenya is preparing its agriculture sector for a major export expansion after China confirmed that Kenyan farm produce will enter the Asian market duty-free. Now, United States relaxes sanctions on Venezuela's Petróleos de Venezuela, allowing limited oil trade and operations to help stabilize global energy supply. And in sport, Victor Osimhen faces possible surgery after fracturing arm in Galatasaray's 4-0 loss to Liverpool in UEFA Champions League round. We'll bring you details of these headlines and more stories in a moment. President of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is holding a high-level bilateral meeting with United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer, focusing on enhancing diplomatic and economic cooperation between the two nations. The special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, stated that the engagement will result in the signing of multiple memoranda of understanding and agreements covering trade, investment, defense, and cultural collaboration. The talks underscore Nigeria's commitment to deepening ties with the United Kingdom, attracting foreign investment, and modernizing critical infrastructure to support sustainable economic growth and long-term development objectives. Now, Nigeria recorded $3.74 billion in crude oil imports tied to operations of the Dangote Petroleum Refinery in 2025, marking a shift in the country's oil trade dynamics despite being a crude producer. The figure was disclosed in the balance of payment report by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, which noted that the refinery's crude imports contributed to the movement in the country's current account position during the year. The report also showed Nigeria posted a current account surplus of $14.04 billion in 2025, down from $19.03 billion in 2024, but higher than $6.42 billion in 2023, reflecting evolving trade patterns and external balances. We'll go on a quick break now. When we're back, we'll give you the rest of the news. To stay with us.
Known as the father of African literature, Chinua Achebe was born on the 16th of November 1930 in Ogidi, now Anambra State, eastern Nigeria. He was born to Isaiah Okafor Achebe, a teacher and an evangelist, and Janet Anenichi Iluegbunam, a vegetable farmer. Achebe has reshaped the global understanding of African identity through the power of storytelling. Raised during the twilight of colonial rule, Achebe's education was steeped in both Igbo tradition and the Western values of post-colonial Christianity. As a student at the University of Ibadan, he became fiercely critical of how Africa was portrayed in Western literature. Achebe believed that Western literature often painted Africa as a dark and primitive continent, but he sought to tell the African people's lens. In 1958, Achebe's groundbreaking novel Things Fall Apart shattered colonial narratives through the tragic story of Okonkwo, an Igbo warrior. Achebe illuminated the complexities of African culture and the devastating effects of European colonization. Things Fall Apart became more than just a novel. It became a symbol of African resistance against the oppressive narratives of colonialism. Achebe was not just a writer. He was a passionate advocate for African self-determination, and his political activism made him a critical voice in the post-colonial era. Even after a life marked by personal and political struggles, including a car accident that left him partially paralyzed, Achebe continued to
Welcome back. Now, the Major Energy Marketers Association of Nigeria, MEMAN, has explained why petrol prices in Nigeria rise quickly but take longer to decline, citing cost recovery pressures, stock positions, and market volatility. Speaking during the webinar, MEMAN chairman Hub Stockman said the pricing pattern reflects how downstream markets respond to sharp swings in global oil prices rather than being unique to Nigeria's fuel market. He noted that marketers often adjust prices upward rapidly to reflect rising costs, while reductions take longer due to existing inventory purchased at higher prices, highlighting structural factors influencing fuel pricing dynamics. Now, in the same vein, MEMAN has also reported that imported petrol is currently 94.53 naira per litre, cheaper than the domestic gantry price. The association stated that as of the 16th of March 2026, the landing cost of imported petrol stood at 1,080 naira per litre, compared with the domestic gantry price of 1,175 naira per litre. Over 156 million litres of petrol recently arrived in Nigeria, highlighting the country's growing reliance on imports. MEMAN noted that the price gap could encourage further importation, helping to bridge domestic supply shortfalls. Analysts say the difference also underscores persistent cost pressures in local distribution channels and the potential for market adjustments. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Olayemi Cardoso has said Nigeria's banking sector is set to play a pivotal role in the country's $1 trillion economic growth target following the successful recapitalization of key banks. Speaking at the inaugural Africa Capital Forum in London on Tuesday, Cardoso highlighted the recapitalization has strengthened the financial system, improving banks' ability to mobilize capital for investment and economic expansion. Now, the National Agricultural Land Development Authority says it is well positioned to transform Nigeria's agricultural sector to improve livelihoods across the country. Its Executive Secretary, Cornelius Adebayo, made the remarks during a 3-day retreat in Lagos for NAUDA directors and heads of departments, where the agency reviewed its strategies and outlined plans to scale agricultural development initiatives nationwide. In a statement issued in Abuja, he said the programs are designed to reshape agriculture and lift millions of Nigerians out of poverty, highlighting the sector's potential to drive economic growth and food security. Still to come in the news, China has expressed readiness to work with Southeast Asian nations to address energy challenges arising from the war in Iran, while also calling for an immediate halt to military operations. We'll bring you details and more in a moment. Now, in other news, Kenya is preparing its agriculture sector for a major export expansion after China confirmed that Kenyan farm produce will enter the Asian market duty-free starting from the 1st of May. The development opens access to more than 1.4 billion consumers, providing Kenyan farmers and agribusinesses with a significant opportunity to increase foreign earnings and strengthen the sector's global presence. Officials in Kenya are ramping up production, improving quality standards and coordinating logistics to ensure a smooth export rollout, while analysts note that duty-free access could boost competitiveness, attract investment, and enhance the country's agricultural value chain in the months ahead. In Egypt, the country's energy import bill has more than doubled since the outbreak of the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran, raising concerns over the country's fiscal stability, according to the Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouly on Wednesday. Speaking at a press conference, Mustafa noted that the nation's energy import costs have surged by 2 to 2.5 times compared with pre-war levels, reflecting the impact of rising global fuel prices and disruptions stemming from the Middle East conflict. The Prime Minister warned that the spike in energy expenditures places significant pressure on Egypt's budget, highlighting the broader economic implications of regional instability and underscoring the need for strategic energy management and potential diversification of supply sources. Now, India is in talks to increase fertilizer imports from Russia, Belarus, and Morocco as Middle East tensions and China's export restrictions threaten global supply. Government and industry sources say the move is aimed at securing adequate supplies ahead of the summer planting season in India, where agriculture remains a key economic driver. India also imports liquefied natural gas, a crucial feedstock for urea production, making it vulnerable to disruptions in global energy and commodity markets. In another news, oil prices surged on Thursday, with Brent crude climbing above $115 per barrel after Israel launched attacks on energy facilities across the Middle East. Escalating tensions following Israel's strike on its South gas field and the sharp increase reflects growing fears of supply disruptions in a region critical to global energy markets. Analysts say the escalation could sustain upward pressure on oil prices as investors closely monitor developments that may further affect production as well as distribution. Now, China has expressed readiness to work with Southeast Asian nations to address energy challenges arising from the war in Iran, while also calling for an immediate halt to military operations. As home to the world's largest oil refining sector, China's willingness to cooperate is expected to provide relief to Southeast Asian countries grappling with rising energy costs and supply uncertainties. The move comes after Beijing earlier ordered a ban on export of diesel, gasoline, and jet fuel, a decision that had heightened concerns among regional importers already facing pressure from global energy market disruptions. Now, officials from China and South Korea have pledged to strengthen their trade relations and maintain supply chain stability following talks held in Beijing on Thursday. Both sides agreed to deepen economic cooperation as geopolitical shocks, including the Iran war and involving U.S. trade policies, continue to disrupt global markets and trade flows. Beijing has been pushing to rebuild stronger ties with Seoul after recent diplomatic engagements, including a January visit by South Korea's president, who called for full restoration of relations, highlighting growing alignment on economic priorities. Still to come this afternoon, Japanese Prime Minister is set to visit the White House for talks with President Donald Trump as Washington seeks support from a key ally in the ongoing Iran conflict. Do stay tuned, we'll bring you more details shortly. Now, the United States has relaxed sanctions on Petróleos de Venezuela, allowing limited oil trade and operations as part of efforts to stabilize global energy supply. The move was communicated by the U.S. Treasury Department and reflects a shift in policy towards Venezuela's oil sector. The decision comes amid the ongoing U.S.-Israeli war against Iran, which has disrupted global oil flows and driven prices higher. Analysts say the policy adjustment could ease short-term supply pressures, though its long-term impact will depend on geopolitical developments and the extent of Venezuela's production recovery in the coming months. Now, the Foreign Minister of Iceland has said they are optimistic about joining the European Union as early as 2028. The Prime Minister noted that fisheries and agriculture are expected to be the most challenging areas in negotiations, given their importance to Iceland's economy and long-standing sensitivities in the European Union accession talks. The government has proposed a referendum on the 29th of August to decide whether to resume membership negotiations, a process suspended in 2013 under a Eurosceptic administration, signaling a potential shift in the country's European integration strategy.
I think it's an honest approach that we do that we right away try to tackle the fisheries and agricultural sector as well as our labor market, welfare system. It's also very important for us. And if we do that, then I'm pretty optimistic then we will be before the end of the year 2028 member of the European Union. The toughest agreement negotiation I would say is on fisheries, obviously, and how we are going to tell EU that the EU fishery policy should be rather adapting the Icelandic policy on fish.
Moving on to other stories where European Union leaders have intensified pressure on Viktor Orban to lift his blockade on a 90 billion euros loan package aimed at supporting Ukraine in its war against Russia. The loan, agreed by EU leaders in December, remains stalled after Orban blocked its implementation, citing dispute linked to a damaged pipeline.
We would like to get the oil which is ours from the Ukrainians, which is now blocked by the Ukrainians. I will never support any kind of decision here which is in favor of Ukraine. Still, the Hungarians are not able to get the oil which belongs to us. And the Hungarian position is very simple. We are ready to support Ukraine when we get our oil which is blocked by them. Till then, there is no any decision which is favorable for Ukraine will be supported by Hungary here.
His stance has further drawn criticism from allies, especially as Ukraine continues to face mounting military and economic challenges. Senator Takaichi is visiting the White House on Thursday for talks with President Donald Trump as Washington seeks support from a key ally in the ongoing Iran conflict. Takaichi becomes the first major allied leader to hold face-to-face discussions with Donald Trump since he called on coalition partners, including Japan, to deploy naval vessels to escort oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz.
I would like to refrain from commenting on the specific topics that we will discuss at the upcoming Japan-US summit. Nothing has been decided regarding deploying the self-defense forces to the Strait of Hormuz. We will maintain close communication with relevant countries, including the United States, and consider necessary measures within the Japanese legal framework under the current situation. As I mentioned earlier, we intend to clearly convey what we can and cannot do in accordance with Japanese law. The U.S. should already be well aware of Japan's legal framework from the past experience. When Prime Minister Abe was in office, he carefully explained Japan's constitution to Trump and made it clear that what cannot be done simply cannot be done. If Trump has forgotten about it, we will convey this to him clearly again.
The meeting is expected to test the strength of the long-standing U.S.-Japan alliance, with pressure mounting over security cooperation and regional stability. In sport news this afternoon, Victor Osimhen is set for possible surgery after fracturing his arm during Galatasaray's 4-0 defeat to Liverpool FC in their UEFA Champions League round of 16 second leg on Wednesday. The club confirmed the injury on Thursday, stating that medical examinations at the hospital have revealed the extent of the damage, raising concerns over the striker's availability for upcoming fixtures. The incident occurred early in the match when Osimhen colluded with Liverpool defender Ibrahima Konate during an aerial challenge, with the defender landing on his arm and leaving the Nigerian forward in visible pain. Now, Anthony Joshua has intensified preparations for a summer comeback, returning to full training camp and linking up with a team of former unified heavyweight champions Alexander Usyk. Joshua last fought on the 19th of December 2025, stopping Jake Paul in 6 rounds in Miami. However, his momentum was disrupted days later following a fatal crash on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The boxer's return to training signals a renewed focus on his career as he eyes a comeback bout and works to regain top form after the tragic incident that cast uncertainty over his future. And that's a wrap on the news, but here's a quick recap of our top stories. President of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, says Nigeria and UK collaboration on insecurity is crucial and will discuss counter-terrorism and regional stability with Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Nigeria's banking sector is set to play a pivotal role in the country's $1 trillion economic growth target, following the successful recapitalization of key banks. On the foreign scene, Kenya is preparing its agriculture sector for a major export expansion after China confirmed that Kenyan farm produce will enter the Asian market duty-free. Now, United States relaxes sanctions on Venezuela's Petróleos de Venezuela, allowing limited oil trade and operations to help stabilize global energy supply. And in sports, Victor Osimhen faces possible surgery after fracturing arm in Galatasaray's 4-0 loss to Liverpool in UEFA Champions League round. Many thanks for joining us. Remember to follow us across all of our social media platforms at SOUQ News TV. I am Sarah Olswanza. Good afternoon.
Just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
My name is Becky Elijah. I'm from UBA, so keep watching SOUQ News.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel. Keep watching SOUQ News.
Esther Ashimi, keep watching SOUQ News.
Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Helen Otongwa. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Okpeyemi Temiyemi. I am an entertainer. I am representing Egypt, as you can see. So keep watching SOUQ News.
Hi, my name is Nena Okavi. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Tom Aldo. Keep watching SOUQ News.
I'm Elizabeth from POS Services UBA. Keep watching SOUQ News.
Hi, my name is Kelechi Agu. Keep watching SOUQ News.
Thank you for having me, SOUQ News. I'm excited to be here. My name is Anna Maria Orlu. I am the current Miss Nigeria United Nations. As well as that, I am an actress, a model, and I also am the founder of Little Blessings Foundation, and we focus on orphanages in Nigeria. For me, I feel like it's about bridging the gap between like how the UN can help Nigeria and what ways we can like kind of be a part of the United Nations as a whole. I feel like every pageant queen picks a route that they go towards, right? So some people pick to bridge the gap between like health, bridge the gap, education. I've chosen to help children and orphanages. So after my last pageant, I actually was reached out to. They were like, you did a great job. I really loved how you presented yourself. Would you like to take part in this pageant? And of course I had to do my own research just to see like, is it for me? Is it not for me? I did hesitate a bit only because, you know, you need to just let it sit. I'm used to just making decisions really fast. So I like to just simmer down and kind of do my research. After that, the process was actually a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of girls from different states and just interact with them and just learn a lot from their background and a lot of the sisterhood and just having fun in that whole 1 week. It's a week process, so it's like boot camp. You're waking up, you're working out, you're visiting different places, you're doing some charity work, different segments like the swimsuit, also evening gown traditional, all of those things. So it is a week of like intense work. It's been good. I think that for me, it's all about what you can do with the crown and not necessarily like the crown, right? The person wearing the crown. What is your interest? How passionate are you? And for me, it's always been important to relate with the everyday girl. Like just because I have a crown on my head does not mean that I cannot go feed the homeless. Doesn't mean that I cannot like be in the streets doing other things with like that may not be, you know, what I live like, you know. So I definitely think that it's opened my eyes to like different opportunities as well, and just like making sure that I am sticking to what my purpose is, and which I think that is my Little Blessings Foundation. I'm currently working on my new project called The Dream Day Out. So basically what it does, it takes children in the orphanages to like amusement parks, zoos, all the things that children don't get to do in those places because they only go to the school and come back. I want them to feel like children. I want them to be able to just not worry about the circumstances, even if it's just for like 5-6 hours. My foundation already donates clothes, shoes, school supplies already, so I just wanted to kick it up a notch and just like try something else that would just enrich their life a little bit. I think yes. For me, I was a foster kid for 10 years, and I think like I might not have got like the same childhood as everybody. Go to different things just because who was gonna fund that? You know, who was gonna take us to the zoo and the park and like things that we really wanted to do? And it was like, I feel like I didn't go to an amusement park till I was like nearly an adult. So I think with that, I wanted to just have something different. I know that a lot of people, and even in Nigeria, donate food and stuff like that, but how are we like enriching their lives? Like how are we making them like not always think about them circumstances of what they're living? That's a really good question. For me, I think that my family also have done a really good job with that as well. My dad is always in Nigeria, and he tried to instill that you're Nigerian no matter what. My mom as well, and my brother never spoke English to me when I was younger. So I was able to understand Ikwere and Igbo, which, you know, nobody even believes that I would understand that because I wasn't born and raised here. So I think my family as a whole really just instilled, they try as much as possible to instill that even though we didn't live together to like a certain age, they still were just like that mental, you know, your mom would be like, if you're around these people, they're not like you, they're not like you. Like my mom would always say that, like, you can't follow these American people, they're not like you. So I think that's always in my head that like, you're Nigerian, like, and I started coming back a lot more too. For me, it's always been anything I'm doing, I have to start at home. I have to start at home because that's where it feels right. That's the purest way to do it for me. So even though now I could go try to be Miss Ireland, but I know that I've done Nigeria first, and that's who I represent at the end of the day, always. So how I knew I could act is because I started off singing. Actually, I started off singing. I thought I was going to be a singer. I was very annoying to my family. I was singing everywhere we went. My mom actually encouraged it. She'd be like, go sing at church, go sing. I loved it. And then I got into musical theater because they were like, oh, you could sing. We need somebody who could sing. And that's how I got into acting, because with musical theater, you have to act and sing. So after I was like, wow, like I love this. This is what I want to do. I want to watching yourself, it's so surreal because how other people perceive your work, you know. So if somebody sees something that I do and they're like, oh my God, like I really like, you touched me, like I believed what you were saying. And that's the stories I want to tell. So I think like after the music theater, I was like, I want to act. Like acting is the destination, and there might be other routes, and I'm just grateful that God blessed me with other talents. Like I sing, I also dance, and modeling. I just feel like everything would lead me into like the final destination, which is acting. I actually did my first Igbo play like this year, which was, you know, different because I've never done that, and also in LA that's not a popular thing, right? So my last one was an Igbo play, and it was Emeka 1985. It was really, really dope. It was literally about a man who moved from Nigeria to America, and just that transition. Nobody really tells the story of how hard that could be. And for us, we don't even know because our parents did it, right? So that was a really provoking story to tell as well. I really enjoyed that. And I was also in this film called Marche. It's telling a Haitian story about like a Haitian woman, and I was the lead for that as well. There's a lot of films, and short films, feature films, movies that I've done that I feel like they always tell like provoking stories, and that's really what I love. Absolutely, and that's the main reason that after my projects with Little Blessing, I actually start filming a film on the 15th of January. My goal is to be able to work anywhere, and I don't want to just depend on Hollywood to fulfill what I need to do. If I have to be in India working, I will be there. But Nollywood has always been an interest of mine. I've had it on my goal every single year, like I need to be in a Nollywood movie. So this is really a great opportunity for me to be here and just meet other creatives, directors, and storytellers, and really get to work here as well. I actually do. I work from home, so I have my laptop. But right now I am a social worker, but I work from home. I think that for me, just my background and my childhood, I never wanted to be a broke artist. Being an artist is so hard where, like, you know, it's not stable. One day you have a role and you're working 5 days, and then another 2 months you might not have anything. You're auditioning, you're trying to get something. I just didn't want that to be my life. Like, I want to be able to help my family. I want to be able to take care of myself and not be a burden to my family. So I needed to have a job. I needed to have something that didn't demand maybe as much energy from me, where I could still kind of focus on the art as well. I would say definitely acting. If I can act every day and not have to do anything else, that's the goal. Like, that's really the goal. I'd rather not do any of those things, really. I think that entertainment has always been where I'm supposed to be. And I'm lucky enough that, like, I knew that from a young age, you know. A lot of people don't know what they want to do, and they spend a long time, like, trying to find it, explore different things. From a very young age, I already knew that, okay, you're gonna go to school, because you will not hear the end of it from your parents if you don't, but you're still gonna go and do education, entertainment. I think those stories, like you say, African American, they have been told a lot, and I think it's because that's people's experiences, right? A lot of people start from their experiences, and for me, I think I really want to tell a lot more about immigrant stories. I think that there's so much that happens when Nigerians or any other like immigrants leave their country and go to America, go to the UK. The things they experience, people don't even tell it enough. Like the things that my dad went through, I only know half of it. And I'm already like, whoa, this is a lot for one person. Especially Nigerians are so resilient, like they can do anything and just to make sure that they survive in that country. So I definitely want to tell a lot of immigrant stories. I think it's really, in 2024, it's how she was treated was terrible. Like, Nigerians are everywhere. So for me, when I first saw that, I was thinking, lived in Ireland all my life. If somebody told me that I couldn't compete for Miss Ireland, why not? Why? I have been living there all my life. So I think that it definitely made me feel like, are we moving forward? Like, are we actually, like, as a society, that shouldn't be a thing in 2024. But I'm just happy that she actually went back to her people, because those are the first people who are going to accept you first, right? And look where she is now. So I think that everything probably led her to where she was supposed to be. I think some of the misconceptions is that we're not very smart. We're just pretty, or some of them are like, oh, they just did it just to have a crown and have the attention or whatever. And I mean, some of those things might be true for some other people, but for me, I feel like I'm a pretty regular girl. Like, I feel like I like to do the same things. One of the things I will say that people will automatically stuck up. Like, we're stuck up. We can't be in certain places. We can't talk to certain people. And that doesn't apply for me. I feel like there are places that I've been and I'm like, maybe this is not where I would like to come again, but I'm here now, so let me integrate myself. So some of those misconceptions, I think it doesn't apply to every queen. And my daily, like how I live daily, I feel like I work. I do a lot of presenting. I'm also a host, so I do a lot of red carpet events and stuff like that. So I always like to make sure that I am in the entertainment scene, because I know that that's where I want to be. I take care of myself a lot. I do work out a lot. I don't eat the best because I work out a lot, so I compensate for that. But yeah, I think I live a pretty regular life. I just take care of myself a lot. The rest part lacks. I think probably don't sleep enough, but it's just the passion, really. It's the passion to want to do all these things. I think that even my social life is actually pretty good. Like, I go out pretty regularly with my friends and I travel a lot. I think traveling is really my safe haven. It's where like I feel like, okay, this is where I get to do something I want to do. Like traveling and working out, those are the two things that I'm like, okay, this keeps me sane. But time-wise, I think I have good time management skills. That's another thing too. I think in this industry, you have to have time management skills and just prioritize what you want to do, because you're not going to have time for everything and tomorrow is another day. So before Miss Nigeria United Nations, I started Little Blessings. So I started Little Blessings like maybe 7 months before I actually did the pageant. So I already had that going where I was supplying shoes, clothes, things like that. So then Dream Day Out came after I became the queen. And I think my mission is just to keep adding initiatives that are gonna enrich these kids' lives, right? Next thing, I want to start looking for grants to fix the orphanages up, because some of them are in such a bad condition. And I think that if we're setting these children up for success, it starts at home. It starts with the basic needs. Like, if you don't have clothes to wear, you're not going to go to school and feel like you want to learn. if your environment is traumatic, you're not going to have that space to want to even be a doctor or a nurse or whatever it is that they might want to be, right? So I think it's just, I want to start with the basic needs, like your home needs to be together. Some of the orphanages have holes in them, like water coming, and the kids are comfortable. They just hop over the bucket. And I'm looking around like, wait, this is okay? So I just want to start off with like building that up and then go and add more and more orphanages that I'm sponsoring. So start getting some from the east. Right now I have in Port Harcourt as well. So just adding more and seeing how we can make a difference that way. Some of the challenges is just working with different people, right? So these things that I'm organizing, I have to reach out to the resort park. I have to reach out to the orphanage, the workers there. I have to like really just work with them. And sometimes, you know, when they hear your accent, the bill goes up. So things like that are really challenging because it almost means that I have to try to get somebody to do stuff for me instead of I like to do stuff for myself. Like I'm pretty like dominant in that way. Like I want to call the resort park and organize stuff. I want to call the sponsorships and make those deals myself. But sometimes it's challenging because I might have to depend on somebody else. Like for instance, we're getting a bus, right? And we're getting a bus and I have to have somebody else call because it'd be cheaper when they call. But if I call, when they hear me, they're like, oh, $500K, like the price goes up. So those challenges is what like really bothers me. I think it's just believing that anything is possible. I think that I truly like believe that like I have to make it. And also like your background as well should motivate you because I didn't come from like an easy background and for me, I was like, it cannot get down there. So it has to go up. Going to school was very like beneficial to me because I was able to like actually make money, take care of myself and sponsor my goals. You have to be able to sponsor your goals. Just for acting, you need headshots, you need show reels, like all those things cost money. So I think just first thing, just believing that anything is possible and it doesn't matter what anybody else tells you. Like nobody can tell me today that I'm not gonna make it, and I would believe them. And surrounding yourself with people who really like believe that about you too. Like it took me years to even tell my dad that I was into entertainment because I had to block out that negativeness. And it's not that they mean it, but you know, African parents, they're focused on stability. And entertainment doesn't sound very stable. So I don't want anybody to project their negativity on me to make me feel like I'm not gonna be where I wanna be. So that's one thing I had to just block that out. My dad found out that I was Miss Nigeria like after I won, not even through the process. Because I don't want anyone to tell me that, oh, you know, you might not get it, you might not know. Why not? Why don't I have those opportunities? So that's why it's really important for me to like try to create those opportunities for other people as well. I think for me, one of the things I've had to lose is some friendships. Just because where you are, not a lot of people are supposed to be there with you. And that was hard for me to accept that. Certain people I might have known for a long time are not aligned with my future or aligned with where I am now. So those are things that I'm still like trying to balance, you know, like, because having good people around you is really important, and having people who are gonna always uplift you, speak life into you, and just make you feel like you are where you're supposed to be. So I think like that was a main thing for me, where it's like, okay, you may not be able to be around certain places anymore as well. Like I had to also, and I'm still assessing that, like where you can be and where you can't be. There's certain places now that I feel like as a queen, like you really shouldn't be there. Like it's low-key like not where you can associate with anymore. Some of the upsides is being in certain rooms where you wouldn't have been able to be in as maybe like a regular person, right? Being able to speak to people who are actually change makers, being able to get sponsorships and fundraising, things like that. It's harder. It was harder for me when I wasn't a queen, but I was still trying. I did online sponsorships and everything. So I think that being a beauty queen gets you into different rooms so you can actually speak and people can hear your voice more and hear your initiatives, hear the things that you want to do. Oh, wow. First of all, I love how dramatic Nigerians are. Like, I think it makes my day. Sometimes we're just driving and I'm just looking and everybody is just, it's like a movie. Like, and I love how successful Nigerians are. Like, when you leave Nigeria and you see Nigerians in different countries, like, we are doing amazing things. There's like, out of all the African countries, I just love how determined, how hardworking, resilient, like things now that I see some of my friends in Nigeria do, I'm like, wow, this took you all day. They're like, oh, no, it's no problem. Like, it's not a big deal. But for me, I'm like, that's all day. So I just love how resilient we are, how nothing can stop us. Like, we are literally unstoppable in every country that we go to. And even some of my Ghanaian friends would be like, I love Nigerians. I love how you guys can just work so hard, but also play so hard too. So yeah, and the food. I can eat. I can eat.
Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, boy, this POS matter, don't pass your call. Listen, go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Maybe you fake alert the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen, eh? If you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk that bar road where they warriors for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM. We've got just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch, and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix, and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact